What's up, everybody? You're listening to Notnobody podcast. I'm here with Berkey.
What's going on?
Evan Cox, Cheeks, myself, Esco. What up, baby? And all the way from SoCal, California, the talented singer, songwriter, American Idol top 5 finalist, Mr. Power Ballads himself, Jonny West. Welcome.
Wow.
What's
Welcome, my man.
We did it.
See, that's why I had to prep.
I think when you get somewhere and they give you an intro of any kind, even if it's, I'm not a fan of this guy, but let me give him a little intro, you've made it.
It's a little sauce on the top. Yeah, it's a little sauce to make it look like that. It feels empowering. And how does that feel, the finalist on American Idol? Is that surreal? Has that hit yet?
I don't. It's funny. Like I was talking to someone the other day and they were like, yeah, because I mean, we saw you. It was my neighbor and like, yeah, we saw you. And like, what? Like, I haven't watched American Idol in, 10 years. And I was like, me neither. Like, I hadn't, you knew what it was and everything. And obviously, my girlfriend was on last year.
Yep.
And you watch, so I watched and you know of it, right? And you're just like, I equate it to like if the music industry is like high school, you have like all these clubs and like these certain like ASB and like all these people that are trying to like make it happen, for themselves. And to me, that's these shows like The Voice, American Idol, like America's Got Talent. They're like these clubs, right? And the college scouts come to these schools and they're the gatekeepers, right? And so they come to the music industry and they're like, what's going on over here in this little club? And they're like, what's going on over here? And they kind of check these, because you're still having people coming out of these shows, especially American Idol. I'm not too sure the other ones, but like that are coming out and getting in writers' rooms or, like their name will pop up or they're doing things. So it's definitely like, and I mean, I started, I've been out here trying to make it happen, for a long time. And the opportunity came, I got hit up by a casting person just through Instagram. And it was one of those things that like, do you want to come do the show? And I saw what it was doing for people. And I had like my reservations just because I really take the craft very seriously.
Yeah.
I try not to get too wrapped up in like the art of everything, just because you can walk that line between like pretension and delusion.
Right.
And just being like, I don't like, why are you taking it that serious? No one's listening. You know what I mean? Like I never wanted to do that. And so, but at the same time, these shows are like, they're TV shows. They're TV show first, right? So I was a little wary about it, but it just felt like I wasn't in, a position where I could afford to say no, right?
And
it would have been so assuming to be like I didn't need it, and it helped me out. And I think I had an issue with trust with the people, like before I met anybody. And then you go on the show and they just take good care of you. And
that's awesome.
I put my foot in my mouth plenty of times. And like, I was like, oh, hope they don't put that on the show. And they didn't. And they like really, they basically show you how you really are. And like, if you have a little something, it will get magnified. So for me, like, I don't think I'm shy at all, like I'm very, but I am wary that I'm on a TV show. So I'm probably going to rein it in a little bit, like I'm not going to say whatever I want. And so since that's what happened, that got, accentuated, like Jonny, this shy kid from this place. And it's like, dude, like we just went on tour, like up the coast and play, like me and my band, we do this for sure. Right. But it was, I mean, they were just so nice. And like the producers really talked to me like fans of my songs, which is that's all I care about,
right.
Is like writing something and someone going like, I listened to that more than once and enjoy it. Like, that's all I need. I'm like, all right, cool.
And I think American Idol definitely takes you that, like, that's definitely the vibe that kind of got off, that you being the shy guy. So I didn't know what to expect. I know, and don't hate us for saying this, but we don't watch American Idol. That's our, like, that's just, it's, I totally get it, but we found you through your music. And I think that's so cool, is how we found out about you. It's not American Idol. We found about you because you're a very talented songwriter, singer.
Right.
And you got your platform to go to the next level and really take you there. Yeah, that's what it's all about.
We found your music, and then we were like, oh, and he's on American Idol.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, he's on American Idol. That's cool.
Sick. Okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Okay. That's dope. Yeah. And that's the thing too, is like people, it's cool because there's a good amount, like there's a handful of people that watch this show and are now sticking around because of the music rather than the other way around. Like I'm really trying to, you know, at this point or for the next project, weed out the people that are maybe just fans of the show and want to see a specific version of me. Like they're going to get weeded out really quick. Just, I can't go into too many details, but it's just because like this next cycle, I'm going up to Oregon right now to record with my band because my guitarist is from there.
Oh, what part?
And my drummer moved up there too. Ashland.
Okay, my dad lives southeast of Salem.
Sweet. All right. Well, we'll bring him in if we need some time on the record.
You're gonna get a little turn with Johnny.
But yeah, but like that's the thing is I'm gonna always be writing songs and just trying to grow as a person and as an artist. So like I think it'll be cool to see who's down for that and who's just kind of like, meh, you know, like on to the next. I just watched the show or I just experienced music this way. I think like all of my favorite artists are people that every album cycle they're exploring like a different thing. And it might not be your favorite thing, but like you can respect the fact that they're not doing the one trick that they have, you know, like they're trying to grow themselves. And yeah, that's just how I see music in general. Like I don't think an album, I see it like movies. I love movies. Like I'll go to the movie theater by myself, like if that's what it takes to just see something. But like you don't pop in your favorite movie and like, and you get all your friends together and skip to a scene and watch that scene and then maybe skip to another one and then eject the disc and like,
like nope,
put it back. I'm talking about DVDs, like who uses DVDs, but no, but like you don't, you know, like you don't do that. Like you watch the movie all the way through. Even if you just see it once, you watch it all the way through and you're just in it. I think music should be the same exact way. Like even if it's just a song, like you don't skip to the chorus, you listen to the whole, even if the chorus is your favorite part, like you still listen to it. Right.
Yeah.
That's really
so
cool.
I think
people are always asking me about like how we find new music and everything. And they're like, don't you just skip around? And I was like, no, like I get it. Like you want to find the most music and you got to go as quick as possible, but you got to listen. I listen to the whole track because you don't know when Jonny West is going to switch it up halfway through with something amazing and bring it back. So I love that. And I gotta ask you, to be honest, you did your audition, you performed your original track, Making Love. You knew you were about to kill it. You can be a little cocky. You knew exactly you were about to blow him off. You're a finalist now. You can say that.
What's funny is I did Glow first, actually.
Oh.
I did, so I did.
You messed it up.
I know. Now I look like I don't know my shit.
No, it didn't get aired. It didn't get aired. So for people that don't know, Glow is the first song on the EP that I have out with my band. And I went in and played that, and then they were like, I think the plan was to always rap. Like I knew the producers were like, you know, that's a moment for TV for sure. Like, and the reaction is always like, it's not, I'm not going to say like, oh, he's good and people, oh, he's losing it. But it's never like people don't look and go like, oh, I've seen that before. You know, like it's definitely something that people go like, what is this? This is, you know, it just kind of captures you, whether you like it or not. You haven't decided yet because you like haven't seen that, you know.
It's gonna get that head turn.
What's that?
It's gonna get that head turn.
Yeah. And so like I knew they were gonna have me do that, but I also wanted to just show that like I take songwriting very seriously. And so I did Glow first, and they really liked it. And then they like looked. They were like looking around, and you can kind of tell like the producers have a, you know, like a back and they just like communicate with their eyes, and they were like, what else do you have? And then I started, and in the beginning you can hear I have a piano right here, so it's perfect, but you can hear that like it, and then it starts. It was because there's a clip because I started it and I went through the chords, and Katy Perry goes like, how about a cover? And I was like, nope. And I just kept going. Like I kept going with the song. And so that's why you hear that, and then it like goes in right away, but it has that little skip. And it was because she started talking and I just totally ignored it. Cause I was like, I don't think I had a cover ready. Like
you're a songwriter. Like, you came prepared to play your music. I mean,
yeah, exactly. And especially the season before, I mean, I saw how much they were opening that lane for songwriters. So I just was like, all right, well then I'm not going to fear that. I'm going to go all in for it. That's why it skips. But no, I did know that like, it's so hard because when you're in it, like you see everybody and you're like, that person could take my spot. That person could take my spot. You don't see a character slot for you per se, you know?
Sure,
So, right. But I knew it would be like a cool TV moment. Just cause we do it at shows, you know, like I said, we went up the coast for this little tour. I don't know if you know So Far Sounds.
Yeah. We got one in Indy.
We did a So Far Sounds. And so that whole concept for people that don't know is, you know, you don't know who's going to play. You don't know who's going to be there. You just go and you put your phone away and you hope it's good music. So that being said, the rap was always a surprise, you know? So, and it just, the reaction is always at least like, like you have my attention, right? Like we're not talking anymore. I mean, we play loud bars, and like as soon as that comes out, like we at least get the loudest guy in the room for maybe 30 seconds at least, you know, like to just be like, like I'm gonna stop being obnoxious and I'm gonna listen to what this kid's doing for a minute.
Damn.
You know? So really I knew it'd be like that. But
so did you notice like when you were in the room, did you know? Because like I watched the clip and I saw like, for me personally, I don't know about you, but like when you got Lionel Richie to kind of be like, like, were you cognizant of that? Like, were you paying attention, or were you just in the zone where you're like, I'm hoping that there's a good reaction?
Yeah. I mean, I don't remember when people ask me, I always say like, I don't remember them saying yes. For some reason, I can't, like, and when I watch it and they go, that's a yes for me. Like, I don't remember that moment when they all said yes. Because when I was little, I used to think like, what would it feel like to like get one of the judges to be like, that's a yes for me, right? Going to Hollywood. Like, I don't remember that at all, but I do remember I was just hoping that they would be respectful in the sense of, not respectful, that's the wrong word, but be encouraging in the sense of the rap, right? Because I knew I could do it. There's been plenty of times I do it and like people are, you know, because especially I take it so serious, so I take it very personally, because hip hop to me, like, it's all I listen to. I'm a white kid, like, I only want to do it tastefully. I don't feel the need. I feel like a lot of up and coming guys, especially if they're white, like feel the need to be like lyrical, miracle, spiritual, you know, like, and do lyrical acrobatics and do all that stuff. And like that to me now has been around too long to where it's kind of corny. Cause it's like, what are you really saying though? Like you just said a lot of words that rhyme, but like they don't,
there's no
what
depth.
are you saying? And not saying anything. Yeah. And so I don't want to be grouped into that, you know, and like I will be by certain people for sure, but let me do my best to not give them a lot of ammo so where they can go, you know, he's a lyrical, miracle, spiritual guy. Like, and so for me, it was cool for them to be even, and this didn't get showed either, but Katie made a comment. She was like, we've had rap before, but like, it's never tasteful and it's kind of just random and it's not And it was nice. They didn't act like they knew, you know, they didn't act like their knowledge of hip hop, you know, went farther than it did, but they were like, for us, we could tell that you really care about it and take it seriously. And that's all that I care about.
Yeah, that's,
you know, because the rap that I listen to is like that. Like I love, you know, Ty the Creator and Slow Ty, and like these guys that even on Tyler's last record, like there wasn't a lot of rap on it. Like there's a lot of singing, there's a lot of melodic rap, you know, and so I just, would have
been terrible if the judges just looked at it and goes, nope, next, and you'd be like, what?
But that's the thing, and that's the thing though, is they can. So I knew that, and like because music is the most subjective thing ever.
That would have hurt.
So you could go in and I could freaking play with my toes and rap, and somebody like, and people would be like, no, you know, because it's too much or because of this. So I knew they had the ability to be like, I don't know if it fit. And then you paint that narrative for everybody forever, right? Like the common viewer is going to be like, yeah, it didn't fit. Or like when they say, you know, I have it right now, kind of when I'll post something up, like a singing video or whatever in my house. And like, it's only ever once or twice I'll get the person that goes, open your eyes and connect with me. But they say that because they've heard somebody say that. But it's different when I'm in person with you. Yes, like I want to connect with you, and that's what I do. I'll connect with whoever's in the audience. But if I'm singing to you and I look at this camera and I sing into it, like you don't realize how corny that is, and people don't realize that. Yes. And so it's just kind of like there's micro things that like the judges can't have power over because the average person is just going to regurgitate what they think is good.
Absolutely.
You know, so I want to be always to be able to get into a space of like doing something and people go like, I don't know how to feel about this. Like, let me listen to more. Let me like, you know, like I'd rather do that than do exactly what everybody thinks they want to hear, just because I feel like it's like when you're young and you listen to your song for the first time, you don't know why you like it. You're just like, oh, this messes with me, you know, you got to listen to it over and over again. So yeah, I think it's, so I think for that was really cool that they allowed people to kind of form their own opinions about it. You know, they didn't really critique it. They just were like, "I was really cool that you were able to do all these different things." You know, they didn't even say they liked it or didn't like it. So I think that's the goal. And like, that was the goal throughout the competition. I mean, unfortunately, we're not allowed to do originals every round. I would have never done a cover. You know, the only time I did covers was because I wasn't allowed to do an original. So, but like everything in my power to keep pushing the envelope and just do things like the Amazing Grace thing was something too. Like I wrote that specifically. I don't know how much you guys watched, but there was a Mother's Day round and I wrote like my own version of Amazing Grace.
It was really cool.
And I did that round. Like they were like, here's what you have to do. And I was like, oh, okay. Like I don't want to rap again because that seems corny to me to be like, this was my mom's favorite rap song, you know, like she doesn't,
this one's
like,
you.
My parents don't even really like that much, you know, like they don't think it's cool because they don't listen to that kind of music.
Right.
And so for me, it was just about like, all right, well, what's something I can do that's also signature to me, you know? So that was write my own thing for that. And there were people too that were like, you can't change Amazing Grace like that. And I loved it. I'm like, that's what this is all about, dude. Like, tell me I can't. So then people can go be like, well, why can't he? Because this is art, like, you know, and then take that for themselves and be like, oh, like I want to ruffle some feathers, you know, as long as you're doing it in a way that's legit to you, like, it doesn't matter, you know, put your foot all the way down your throat, you know?
Yeah. So how did you originally start blending genres the way you do? It's very unique and very original, in my opinion. How did you start to figure out that that's how you wanted to make your music?
Appreciate it. I kept them separate for a long time. So in high school, I moved around a lot. And then in middle school and then in high school, I was finally like able to kind of hone in on, you know, a specific nest, but I had to learn how to like make friends really quickly in middle school. And so what I would do was freestyle like about the teacher, like I'd freestyle rap about like the teacher or something. And I always thought it was like funny, but it was cool, you know. It was kind of like, oh, it was kind of cool.
Glad
but
you're in.
Again, like white kid, not really, you know, versed in like the history of hip hop or anything like that. I just enjoyed it. Yeah, I was very like, my mom would like take away my iPod if I had like any explicit music on it. So it was like you know, an underground society of like me being able to listen to rap music. And so I would download it and change it on the iTunes and put under unknown artists. So like you'd have to like dig through the iPod to like find it. And one time I got in trouble and she like took away my thing and then found it and I was in so much trouble. And then it just, but it was like, I think that it also that's just how it is every generation, you know, like there's going to be the parents that have the kids that like love this kind of music. And you're like, what is this garbage? Like turn this out. Like, you know, you can't listen to this. And so it just like, I just loved it. But
my mom gave me a Now's Hot CD. I think the compilation CDs that you said, like Now That, like 31 or something like that. And I got it and I was like, oh man, this is so awesome because track number 2, Drop It Like It's Hot by Snoop Dogg. Oh, there's my first intro. Let's get into it. The Easter Bunny was very nice in getting that CD.
I shared a iTunes account with my brother at the time, so anything that he downloaded, I had to listen to, and he was like heavy into screamo and like hard metal, and so but that kind of translated into Rage Against the Machine, and so anytime like I plug in my iPod, like I'd get something new on there, and my brother had found Rage Against the Machine because it's that, you know, has that heavy thing for him, but it was the first time that I heard somebody, at least consciously, like the first time I heard somebody, you know, it's just another more to do. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what is it? You know, like I didn't know what it was. And then like I listened to it and I would just listen to the song he downloaded. It's like, it was Bomb Tracker, like Killing in the Name of. And I was like, this is insane. And then he got Bad Meets Evil, the Bad Meets Evil track off the Slim Shady LP. For some reason, like he didn't download any other Eminem songs, just that one. And it starts with the guy being like, 20 years ago,
Yeah,
two
this is
outlaws,
strange
and
one
he
to
does that
download.
whole story, and then the beat comes in, and like the line, freaking, I don't speak, I flow in air, rap in a seat, I'm not a real person, I'm a ghost trapped in a beat. I heard that, and I was like, bro, like, this is it for me, like, that's it, you know, like, you hear those things, so that got me into rap, and I didn't sing or play piano I was rapping for, 2.5 years before I sat down and started to learn piano. And then because I got to high school and I just noticed like, it's kind of, I didn't take it too serious. Like I had the Skinny Neutron name just to kind of
I was going to bring it up.
Like, it's funny. So yeah. So if anybody roasts me, I can be like, I'm not even being serious, because it was out of a place of fear.
Sure.
Like I didn't want to be that white kid that was like rapping in high school and thought he was like hard, So that was my kind of blanket. Yeah, so if anybody challenged me, I'd just be like, bro, what are you mad about? I'm being joking.
Yeah, it's
I'm not
a
being
joke,
serious.
bro. It's not serious.
But I realized like, I just wanted a thing. I mean, all my friends, one of my best buddies just got drafted to play baseball for the Pirates. Like all my best friends are really athletic, really good at sports. Oh. And I just was never like that. And I just kind of realized like, all right, like I want to make friends. Like and singing too is just to kind of get chicks, like to get girls. Cause you're just like, oh, like he can sing, like that. So but I couldn't sing very well. And so I knew that like for something to set me apart was like, I had to, since I couldn't sing crazy well at the time, like I had to do something special. And so that's where just songwriting came in. And like my first progression was like that's all I knew, right?
That's
like
a solid
three
one,
chords over and over again.
It's solid.
And so I just was like, and I just knew the shapes, and I was like, all right, well, there we go. And I just wrote my first song over that. And then I wrote the first verse, and then I was like,
do you remember it?
Okay, I need a chorus. Oh, I can't remember.
Okay, all right. We're like, all right, let's put him on the spot.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. I remember like my third song, but and then I got, and you think you know things about music, so you're like, okay, the chorus has to be different chords. I didn't know any other chords, so I just did like just the same thing but reverse. Yeah. And that was the chorus. So then I just kind of started to realize like, okay, like this isn't that hard, and so songwriting was kind of a thing. So that way, if somebody was like, you're not, it was all out of fear, like if somebody was like, you're not the best singer, I could be like, oh, but I wrote this though, I always want to make sure there was something that if somebody challenged me, I could be like, well, but I made this up, or, right, but I'm not singing a cover, because all the kids that were doing what I was doing were doing covers or were original, not rapping or not. Yeah. So I just think that was like always important from the jump. And then, I just did it all of high school and then graduated, and my parents were, it took them a minute at first, for sure. My dad, I remember, sat me down and was like, like, I'm glad that you have something to do that's not, drugs and this and that. But like, he was like, I feel like, if you hone in a little, like basically he didn't want me to rap anymore just because he didn't get it. Right. And so they very much were like, but it's just, I think at the end of the day, like I finally kind of convinced them, and they were able to see like, okay, he's coming home every day, and like, yeah, he's failing. He's not doing his homework that well, but he's like making songs. Like, yeah. And I think they looked at other people or other people's kids and are like, okay, like at least it's not that, like, and at least he's doing something that like he loves, and he's doing it every day. Nobody knew if it was good or not. Like, well, I didn't know either. We just knew that there was something there that was like, he's doing it every day.
Drive. It's the drive.
And it's
there.
Not negative. It's not, he's not doing things, because I struggled a lot with authority growing up too. And like, I would get in trouble, and they would have, one time I like got in trouble for like speeding in like the like school parking lot, and the next day they sent like a cop to come like pick me up in the class to like try to embarrass me and like all this stuff. And my mom, like, I gave her so many gray hairs during like my time in school, and so I think they just were glad that it was like, okay, like he could be out with his friends right now, like up to no good, but he's here at least, and like we don't really like the message maybe here's for it, because a lot of the early rap stuff too was like very overly raunchy and overly this and that, because my influences, and so they were like, but at least it's not that, so it took them a while, but they just saw, I think they were that I was very passionate about it. And I'm lucky because my mom wanted to be a teacher her whole life and then became a teacher, and my dad wanted to be a fireman his whole life and then became a fireman. So they know it's different, but they both got to do their dream, you know, which is huge.
Right.
So, I mean, I think that's huge for parents. If you can, because then you know what it's like to get your dream, and you want your kid to have that, because that feeling is the best. I still have the farthest way to go, you know, but like, hey, I'm here, I'm doing it,
that's
and
okay.
I'm stoked. So
it sounded like you and I probably would have gotten along back in the day, so it's all right.
For sure.
I'm sure.
So
I'm sure. Well, I wanted to say that before you ask your thing. I listened to the last podcast, and I appreciate your guys' self-awareness, like tenfold. Like, I think it's so refreshing because you guys, and that's why I hope this does well. I mean, you guys package everything really nice, and you know, presentations, everything. But at the same time, like, I relate so much to you guys introduce yourselves with your fails, right? Or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like,
all the cards on the table. This is like, where we are.
Yeah, there you go. I feel like, because that's what it is, bro. Like, that's what it is for me. Like, it's all these things that didn't work out. And then like you get one thing that kind of puts you somewhere. Yeah. And then you just keep going. No one ever knows about the failures because they were failures, you know, like they never got out there.
They always talk about the successes, but it's got to bring you to, you got to talk about what brought you in the moment and what brought you here. Speaking of which, I got to ask about the story of you. Okay. The piano teacher. I know that you're involved with American Idol. They asked you, I think they asked you if hey, we'd love a shot of you and your kid and you teaching piano. Is there a story behind that? I feel like of you setting that up, you trying to be a little shifty. Come on, man. You're on the spot now.
Wait, where'd you hear that?
Dude, you're hot now. You're on the hot take now. You got to be in here.
Yeah,
we do the research here.
Guys. Well,
we do the research, so we got to.
You guys, I do the research. I know about the Pacers, the love for the Pacers.
Let's go.
So,
let's go, dude.
So, I know about the failed, or not the failed, but the rap dreams.
Yes.
Well.
Yeah,
Berkey. So you got your white rapper right there, and everything that you said just conveyed.
That's Berkey. That was the rap star. I'm hoping to get a hot 16 then.
I just switched the cameras, but I don't want to let it pass since you're coming at the Pacers. So who's your team?
Told you he's coming for you.
No, I'm not coming at the Pacers.
Easy.
I acknowledge that I know
what's
going on here. I'm not going to come into your house and spit on your rug. I'm just acknowledging what this house is about.
So what's your team if you got one though? Because I see all your bios. I see all your social media bios. You wish you played sports. Come on.
Yeah. No, I've been a Lakers for.
Can you imagine? He goes, "Yo, put Skinny Neutron in. Get him in there. Get him in there."
What a Lakers?
I'm a big underdog like fan. Like my favorite thing when we were growing up was we played 2K, and I'd always like put like Scola on the Rockets, like my point guard or something, and just like be like, let's just try him on a different position, you know? Like, so I'm all about those underdogs, man.
Dude, so since you're a Lakers fan, then how is the love for Born Ready for Lance Stevenson? Because it's deep in Indy. We love Lance Stevenson.
So I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I don't know anything about sports.
Thank you. Join my team, brother. That's all me. They try to roast me. And they couldn't give
it. It's not even because we didn't have cable growing up. So like when we would watch football, it was like Monday Night Football, and then they took it away and put it on like ESPN or whatever. Yeah. And like we couldn't watch, like we just couldn't watch sports, you know. So I didn't really grow up. But like I was saying, all my buddies that I grew up with are super, you know, athletic, really good at sports, and so that's like the world that I was as far as like being familiar with. But I just couldn't. Yeah,
Did you say you weren't good at singing at one point?
Yeah, bro, no. Like
what?
Like just like I couldn't run. Like I couldn't like ooh. So I would do like I would go like ooh 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 like da 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 da. I would like scat, like legit scat for like songs and stuff. And it was awful. But like no, I mean that's.
So do you have a vocal teacher
now? I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, how'd you get better? How do you progress to that?
I just, with anything like music and writing and all this stuff, is like a muscle, you know, like you exercise it enough, you start to get better. Like that's just how it is. Sure. You know, like as long as you're not totally tone deaf, if you're doing it every day, like those muscles are growing and you're just getting better at it. And like I said, like I would write a song. They were all bad, but I would write something every day, you know, like from freshman year to senior year. Like I was always making mixtapes and making beats and writing songs on piano, and so.
See, that's what I tell my girlfriend. She tells me to shut the fuck up when I'm in the shower singing. I'm like, I'm getting better, babe. Let me get better. I'm practicing.
Practice.
So
yeah,
what's like
exactly.
what's
practice,
a song for you to like
practice?
Oh, sorry, dude. Go ahead.
Oh no, I just
my fault.
That Zoom lag.
Practice makes practice. Like
Yep.
it makes you do it more and more and more. And then I don't ever want to reach a spot where I'm like, okay, I'm good. I've reached the Nah, like I want to keep. I don't know. I don't want to know what that peak is.
What's like a song that you just bust? Like you're like, all right, I need to like warm my, my vocal cords, or like bust my chops real quick. Like what?
Bust my chops.
Chop out. I mean, dude, I'm a drummer, so like that's gonna come through. If you listen, like you said, then you already know. Like, my dad's a band director.
Yeah, are you the music director?
Yeah.
There you go.
My dad's a band director, and I was in the drum line in college and stuff. So like, chop out. That's why I said
bust my chops. What do you bust your chops to?
Because like when you warm up as a drummer, like you want to chop out real quick. You want to, just warm up. So like, what's a song for you that you're like, all right, let's get it going?
I'm so bad with that stuff. Like it's punk rock for me. Like, we roll
That's
up
cool,
to the venue and, like whatever's going to come out, comes out, and I just hope it's not bad. But like, cause I still like, I know what it feels like what it should feel like and what it shouldn't, obviously.
Right.
But like sometimes even still to this day, like I'll, start something and I'm just like, as soon as that first note's going to come out, like, I don't know what it's going to sound like. And then you hit it and you're like, okay, we're good. But like it used to be, I used to go in the bathroom and do, used to spend my nights out ballrooms and like really like because he goes ham on that Tennessee Whiskey, and it's funny because I don't play country music, I don't listen to it a whole lot, but like that was always my go-to. I just run it. I'd be like, oh, we're going on in a bit. I like run in the back room and just be like, used to spend my nights out, and just like sing it really loud.
Go ahead if you want.
I'm good.
You can just respect that song. I love that song. You can literally it takes time to respect everything that goes into putting that on. And I think it was a sample from Aretha Franklin. I don't know. There was something, but that song.
It's an old song.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, so while we're on the topic of random topics and random interests that we have, since you brought it up earlier, what is your favorite movie? And then I'll ask, what's your favorite TV show? Because
I know who you follow on Twitter, I creeped a little bit. You have one director, and I'm curious if you say his name. So let's see who you got.
Oh yeah, Jojo Rabbit.
Yep.
Takiti Wahidi or whatever his name is.
It's Taika Waititi.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, honestly, so I had an old Twitter. And like when you start the show, they like try to do a deep dive for you and like find all your old tweets and things that like were risky that you might have said.
Damn.
And like I'm like, I didn't say anything too risky, right? And they didn't really find a whole lot. But like they didn't keyword search for like specific things. Like they just search for like curse words, and I don't really like curse a whole lot unless I stub my toe like really hard. But like, it's just not how I grew up, or if I'm like really passionate about something, like one will slip out. But like on Twitter,
for sure,
I'm not really like,
same.
Same.
But skinny neutron.
They didn't find, yeah, exactly. They didn't find much, but I like did a deep dive for myself and searched like different words, like meth or something. And like I had a tweet that was like, which this defeats the purpose of deleting the account. But I'm sharing this now, but I would have a thing like, man, I really should write a song today, but I'm just going to do some meth instead. Or just like things like that were like when I'm going to go on TV, I don't know if I want that up there, like just in case. Till people get to know me, then they can know, or I had things like, just everything was so over the top. And so I just deleted it, like my account. I was like, I'll just start fresh. I only had like 600 followers anyways. Like, it's not a big deal.
Well, we can't wait to make that graphic now to promo this pod and use exactly what you just said with your face.
I did meth or something like that. We'll just that'll be the promo.
I was gonna do
Jonny West does meth on our podcast.
Yeah, the soundbite should just be, yeah, man. So like, I'm high right now. I cook meth, do meth. Meth is my life.
Clip it.
Yeah.
No, but yeah. So what's funny? But I had been following all these people. So I started this new account, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go follow the people that like I was following earlier. And then I just like was bored. So that's why I'm only following that amount and those random people, but I'm following like Safdie Brothers too, who I love. Like I just people that like are in their industry are doing things that are innovative and are pushing the envelope. Yeah. And I mean, the dude played Hitler in a satire.
Man, it was fantastic.
Like, it doesn't get more. It was so good. Like, and it doesn't get more like, I don't know about that, than that.
And he's like, fuck it, I'll make it work. It's like, I'm gonna make this work.
Yeah.
If you like it, great. If you don't, you don't. But he knows that he's gonna pull it off. Speaking of followers, your mom was our 500th follower. I'm pretty sure it was your mom. I think it's your mom that was our 500th follower on Instagram. Yeah, she was our 500th follower. I was like, oh, we got 500 followers at that point.
Now, knowing what we know now, we post a lot of rap.
Yeah.
She
probably unfollowed. Yeah,
she won't understand it. There's so many times like songs like flew under the radar just because she couldn't keep track of like what was being said, and so she'd just be like, okay, that one's clean, or like, but it has like 30 F words in it, but she just can't hear it, No, so
because it was going so
chill.
fast.
Like I'm expanding.
That's awesome.
Taste a little bit.
I was gonna say, do you love like now? I feel like this is the perfect time in the world, especially like for me, Dad being band director, he was like stuck in his ways in high school. I remember that, and he's a big jazz guy. And I'd be like, Dad, I get it, but it's like it's growing, and we still love jazz, obviously. But it's like now it's awesome that my dad will be like, dude, that Kendrick Lamar album is like hard. Like he literally he was like, To Pimp a Butterfly, that's crazy. Like I turned my dad on to Thundercat because I'm like, Thundercat, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, singer, kind of weird guy on Twitter. I'm like, no, he's like literally the best living bassist in my mind right now. Like Thundercat, like he's insane.
Yeah. I wish my dad was like that. My dad will listen to like the next song and be like, oh man, every time, doesn't matter who it is. That new Sean Paul song is fantastic. And I'm like, Dad, that's not Sean Paul at all. That's Kendrick Lamar. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Do you see that? Like, do you feel like you get to kind of like, especially with where you're at in your career right now, like I bet they're opening up a bunch, like, and just being like, respecting things that you were like, oh, they would have never like dug this like 6 years ago.
Yeah, maybe. I think it's cool because I think music is the fastest way you could find out if somebody is like still open to evolving as a person. It's the fastest way that you can tell when you like play something for someone that is new. It's the fastest way you can see it by their reaction. If they're like, oh, like I like that. And so my dad especially is a lot like that. Like he'll show me a song that he heard on the radio, and I'll be like, and I had never heard it before, and I'll be like, the song is like pretty good. Like, or he'll find something on his own and be like, have you heard this song? And I'll know the song. I'll be like, yeah, like
song of the summer.
Song. Like you should like that song. Yeah, but it's something that's so super new to him. So I think that it's cool to like, be able to see that. So as far as opening up things for my parents, I don't think that I've done that, but
just
I think
in general,
it's to their credit. I think it's because they're good. They're like down to keep, at least my dad for sure, just like keep listening to new things and expanding, like what they like. And so,
and he wants to find a connection with you too. Probably he's like my son's into music. He's like, this is what he does. I want to have like a connection with him. So he probably got a lot more into it when he came into it, or no, he was always into it.
No, I think he just.
Fuck with what I said. That was completely wrong.
Yeah. Now we're giving Mr. West too much credit, huh?
Yeah. Dr. Nick trying to give us a psychoanalysis of my dad's music taste.
Get him. Yeah, get him.
No. Yeah, nice try, buddy.
I'll tag you back.
Yeah.
No, I think he just, I don't know, maybe it is. He's a man of few words, but I think, like I said, I think it's just a testament to like why I'm the way I am is because they're very much like, at least he is, and just hear something and be like, I like this, and
for sure.
And he's got like Shazam, and he likes Shazam everything. And, so he's down with it. But
I have to apologize for my friend sitting across from me for ruining my question earlier.
Oh, what question was it? I don't even remember what question you were asking.
I'm gonna be sad if we don't get an answer. What's your favorite movie?
The movie.
Damn, that was ages ago. That was a couple White Claws ago.
So number one for me is Good Will Hunting, just because I think that the things that happen outside of it, like it's Matt Damon and Ben Affleck's like first real crack at making a big movie.
Yeah.
And they all win Oscars, and they all win, like it just, and the story is great. The way it's shot is great. The score is great. Robin Williams, like, come on, like, doesn't get much better than that.
It's iconic.
I like the idea of they just went for it. They wrote the movie, and like, and then broke into that mainstream and got Oscars for it. I love that stuff. So that's my favorite movie. And then it goes Shawshank Redemption maybe for second. But second is tied with Goodfellas and Shawshank. So Goodfellas I've seen like 3 times, and it just gets better every time.
Yeah.
And then third is October Sky, just because the which is like that movie that you watch in school that your teacher like makes you watch about. Have you guys seen it? It's the rocket movie with Jake Gyllenhaal.
I haven't seen it.
And the score is just like, you're like, build that rocket, man. Like, you can do it. Like, it makes you like emotional. The score is so good.
Yeah.
And I think I related to it a lot just because the father-son thing is very much prevalent, and the dad's like, you're crazy. Why are you building rockets? Like, you're a weirdo. And I definitely, like, when I got into music, my dad
got into music too.
Like,
see, it came back.
He was very much like, he was very much like, I don't get it, but eventually turned it around. So that, I love that movie. And then show would be, I don't know. Shows are different because like, I wouldn't like a comedy and like a serious show. Like,
or what are you watching? What are you watching these days?
Right now, like, I could always flip on The Office to like,
oh yeah, for sure,
if I need to. And like, people, it's hard because people are like, ooh, like now it's at a place where it's so big that people are like,
cop out.
You like The Office, like,
yeah,
it's specific. Yeah, but it's
cop
like, dude, like, it changed the game.
It really did.
That format, it changed the game. Like, let's be honest. And we all know Michael Scott, like, to some degree.
Yep.
So to make a character like that and make him so well-rounded, and at the end you're like rooting for him, like, you go from like, like, dude, like, get this guy out of here to like rooting for the guy. I don't know how you do that. Like, if I did, I'd be making movies, up and down the street. But like, I don't know how you do that.
Did you see Steve Carell's new show?
It's on Netflix, right?
Yeah,
they're getting sued for that too.
Dude, it's sad. It's sad. I didn't like it. Sad isn't bad.
I watched
sad isn't it.
I watched the ads for it. I watched the trailer.
It's not worth it.
Oh, I was like, I don't feel like this is going to be anything.
My wife and I watched it probably in like the span of a week, and it just was. Every time we were like, why are we wasting our time with this?
Comedies, I think the most you're going to get out of it is like if you watch just some stand-up special, just because.
Yeah.
I think everybody's on the big networks is so afraid to like say things and make fun of things. And
Always Sunny in Philadelphia is not afraid to do that. I love that show.
I just started it.
Yeah,
do they still make? Do they? That's
they still make it.
Always Sunny still.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Always Sunny.
Okay.
So they put out. They just say whatever they say whatever the fuck they want to say, and I don't know how they haven't gotten kicked off the air. They're saying some ridiculous.
I just
things.
started it, and the first episode is definitely. It's like 2005. It's not with the times. It's like a racist.
Oh, dude!
The very first episode is like a racist episode where I'm like, how is this not like getting brought up right now? Because
terrible.
It's insane.
We know what Evan likes now.
honestly.
No,
I was about to be like, get this off the podcast.
Terrible. We just said that we love that show, and then you bring up that.
No,
fact.
I was saying not that. I'm saying it. That episode should be kicked off. That's what I'm saying. I want to get that across.
Yeah. Talk about a headline.
Don't worry about it.
Chill.
No, I think that. Yeah, I just finished Fleabag. That's really good.
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah. Fleabag's awesome. Just the sense of humor is just so different, and it's like dry, but it's in the fact that she turns to the camera and talks some shit too. I love it.
Yeah, super good.
So I think that we all personally have our favorite tracks by you, and I kind of want to dive into it because I got like mine. I'm gonna go with the very basic one. Feel Like Myself. I love it. The minute that break comes in and you sing that falsetto and like it builds up, and I make that face that's just squinched up, and I'm like, yes, that is it.
There you go.
And that was the first one, dude. It was fantastic. Like, I loved it. And the writing behind it and about someone else being kind of lost and not feeling like themselves, and the music video where she sets each other is awesome, man. I gotta know what inspires you. Kind of have a rhythm to it where you have this track. and then switched it up at the end like we talked about. Like, what inspires that switch up? I have its track, I need to add a little flair to it, I need to add something different. How does that come about?
I think I appreciate you saying that, but I think I don't know, man. Like, I'm still learning, like for me, it comes out of a place of like, I don't want to be bored as a listener, So it's like, especially, and if you're doing something, and I guess if I really think about it, it's more conscious than I think. But like, if you're doing something like Feel Like Myself, we're doing it swung, we're doing it like in a 6/8 thing where it's like dum 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 back, bum 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 back, and there's so many. I mean, Tennessee Whiskey's like that. Like, there's so many songs that do that are very soulful, and you're just like, like that's so nice. But if it's very rare that somebody's going to want to throw on that CD where that's the tempo the whole way, where every song is just swung like that. And to me, it's the hardest. I don't even know music words like tempo or whatever. It's the hardest like thing to be into for the longest amount of time, as opposed to something that's 4 on the floor that's just like doom 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 doom, like, and you're getting down with it. Like, it's the hardest thing to me because it's no, it's like a sway, So by the time I got to the bridge, that's just what happened. I just was I was tired of doing the, like doing that, or I was tired of it. So it just was like, like it just came out, and then I was like, there we go. And then I just ran with it.
You just had your ADHD moment where you're like, I need something different. I love it, but I need something different.
Yeah, exactly. I just got bored. And then I think that's why too, that's what makes art so subjective, but that's what also makes it so the best thing ever, is because you can just throw paint at the wall if you need to. I think the less you, because it's also, there's such a fine line. Like, if you do it too much, no one's going to want to play your song because it's all over the place, and it's like not tasteful. But if you do it in a way that's tasteful, and like those melodies are like you said, like a lot of people, that's their favorite part of the song. It's that breakdown and that bridge, And so if you can do it in a way that's tasteful, and then you don't discredit the chorus. Like, you never discredit the chorus. You be honest that the chorus is going to be everyone's favorite part. So make it a dope chorus, So if you cover that basis, then you can go throw paint at the wall and make the bridge its own, like, little, ants walking down the log moment.
It's a lot of simplicity, but it's complex in itself, and I think that's what really draws it. Like, you paired it up, but your vocals just take it away, and the words that really resonate with that song is fantastic. You just did a great job.
Appreciate it.
So
Appreciate it. Yeah, there's a lot of, it's too just about like trying to do as many things as you can in one song, making it tasteful, like I said, but like people don't, I think if I thought of it too, like if you've made it to the bridge, then you're invested, right? So now I can go a little more in depth. Like if you've made it this far, now I can go with the, I am perplexed when I look at my reflection and see all this and that, and those rhymes, like in that pattern, like I can do a little more of that, because the first thing was the longest U ever. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I took the time with, doing that. It goes through that whole chord, and then Feel Like My Best Mistake. It's the shortest line. It's kind of corny, but it's going to wrap in those people that are like, what's this? And then if you stay for that long, then we can get more intricate, right?
I felt like I earned it. I felt like in build up, exactly. I felt like I earned it. I was like, oh, this is a nice surprise. I was like, this is fantastic. So.
So
appreciate it.
We've taken up a lot of your time. We really appreciate that. Got to ask one last question. What is up next for Jonny West?
Like I said, I'm going up to Oregon we're going to make some tunes, record some stuff. I got a concept and everything ready for what I want to do for the next project. I don't know what the length of it's going to be, but I know like what it's going to look like, what it's going to feel like. And hopefully when we get up there, we can just kind of mess sonically. So the people,
kind of brainstorm.
I have a guitar player and a drummer, and we both, I write all the songs and bring them in, and I have like kind of a specific feel I want to go. And if I have a specific like drum sound I want, like I'll just let Danny, that's my drummer, I'll just let him know like what I kind of want that to sound like. But a lot of the structure is pretty collaborative. Like they come up with their own parts, and my guitar player will play like I don't know if you guys have heard Call. Have you heard that record yet?
That was my favorite song, dude.
I appreciate it.
By you.
Appreciate it.
That
so
lyricism
that one
is crazy.
Thank you. At the end, it has that guitar that. So when we were coming up with that, he played like 2 other things, and we were just trying to figure it out, and then came up with that. And I was like, nah, like that's it, like that one, that's the one. So that's kind of how it goes a lot of the times. Is like we'll be like, or I'll write it all on piano, and then I'll be like, I want guitar to start this, or give me a strum thing, or give me something, and he'll just make it all up, and I'll be like, no, not that, not that. And they're really good at just being like, ooh, like, but I really like this. And if I'm like, yeah, sorry, I don't, they're like, all right, next thing. They don't get too hung up on the details, which is great because I value their opinion, and they're great musicians, but there comes a thing where it's like when you get too many cooks in the kitchen, it can get, too
messy.
much.
Yep.
So they're really good at knowing which battles to fight. And same with me, like knowing when it's like, that wasn't my favorite part, but like, I'm going to trust you, and we'll put it in there. And somebody might listen to it and be like, oh, when the drum does that, tap, 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 like that's my favorite part, So like, all right, cool. Like it worked, and yeah, so that's kind of what we do, but we're going up to Oregon to do that. And yeah, like I said, I can't go too in depth on what the plan is, but it'll be cool. And hopefully when the project comes out, we got a few more videos lined up. Like when those things come out, love to come back on and be able to disclose, be able to talk more about it. But it's I got to keep that mystery up,
For
so,
sure. The tease.
I get it.
The tease is real.
Yeah.
I get it.
When you're in the Midwest, dude, we'll have you in.
That's
sure.
what I'm saying. Is once this all clears over, get on the road, man. Get on the road and come see us. Because
of course.
we'd love to check
where you guys
live.
out of again?
Indianapolis, Indiana. The little crossroads of America, baby. The home of nothing and nowhere, but we're here. So
great place for concerts.
It's home of not nobody.
Yeah. So again, we just want to say thank you for your time. It's really cool to hear your story and just see how down to earth you are, and to hear your concepts and all the things you got going in your world. So we really appreciate you coming and saying hello to us. So thank you, my man.
Yeah, man. I mean, I appreciate you guys. Like I said, like you guys are super self-aware, and that's the biggest. To me, that's the biggest thing to be successful in anything, is like just knowing who you are and like being honest with that. And you guys' whole shtick is dope. So
right on.
Let me know what I can do. I really appreciate you guys' the work, man. It's what it's all about, is how hard everybody works. So, you can see it from what you guys put together, and I'll be listening.
And we appreciate it.
Yep. See you, man.